Hi, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on that. Today's practice is all about finding a reason to be grateful. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. In terms of orientation on the mat today, understand where the front of your mat is and understand where the back end of your mat is. That said, you're going to come to standing halfway between the two. You're going to heel toe in, coming into a narrow mountain, and you're going to stand up nice and tall, either relaxing the arms at your side or you can place them on your hip creases. We're going to begin to bend at the knees and you're going to begin to press your bum back towards the back end of the mat. Now start to play with an alternating heel lift, keeping that bum push back. Maybe floating your hands to prayer, actively pressing into your palms, tracking your elbows nice and wide. Now see if you can double up, lifting both heels together. Come to end in the heel lift, hold it, gripping the mat with all 10 toes, then release. Look down towards your feet and open them up into a small Pilates V. Take a big breath in. On an exhale, you're going to take a step towards the back end of your mat. You're going to open up into a small goddess line. You're going to tuck both hands behind your head and you're going to fall the weight of your head into your hands, allowing your knees to follow the trajectory of your toes. Then come back to your mountain, V-stand, hands in prayer. Now take a step, a goddess step to the top end of your mat and find that head throwback. We're going to do that once more to the back end and the top end of your mat. This time, as you find that fall back position into your hands, take a big breath in, making one elbow heavy to the back end of your mat and reaching the other one for the sky. Come back to your V mountain with your hands in prayer. Big breath in, take a last goddess step out to the top end of your mat. Find your position with your hands behind your head and fall the weight of your head into your hands. Take a big breath in, make one elbow heavy towards the top end of your mat and reach the other one for the sky. Hold, breathing into the open side of your ribs. Then come back to neutral to take a pivot to the top end of your mat. Big breath in. On an exhale, you're going to fold forward into table. Maybe your hands are staying on the tops of your thighs. Maybe you're relaxing them so that your fingertips are reaching halfway to the floor. Then start to play one deeper fold, trying to tap the floor, one halfway lift. Start to play with that halfway lift and that full fold. Using the movement dynamically to begin limbering up through the back chain of the legs and your lower back. Try to end in the fold, hands to floor or hands to legs. Hold. Then step back from here into a narrow 4-point kneeling with your knees and your feet squeezing together along the midline. Start in a long tabletop stretch through the neck and the spine. Let's try to keep the toes tucked under today, if we can. We're going to cat-cow from here, looking for a hollow back and then a rounded back, and play at a 1-to-1 inhalation to exhalation ratio. Looking for that contraction in the belly as we round out in the cat. And then undoing that contraction as you stretch through the belly. Let's end in the cat and hold that contraction. Breathing into the back of your ribs. Then ease into a neutral back line and see if you can bring your toes off the mat. We're coming into a modified working chaturanga and we're going to shoot for 5 repeats. Think push up. Bend your elbows and come as low to the floor as you can before pressing back up. Work with as much bend in the elbows as you're comfortable with, hugging your elbows in towards your rib line. We're going to end chin and chest hovering just off the floor. Hold it, hold it. Then release to the belly, but keep those feet off the mat. Hands are on the mat, fingertips just in front of our shoulder line, and we're coming into a revolving, modified cobra. You're going to start to make both legs heavy to the right. We're going to peel up as high as we can through the arms and find your way back to the big belly and start to play side to side. Dropping your legs to one side, rotating to almost push off that hip and the hands. Shoot for about 5 revolving repeats. Hold your last stretch. Back onto the belly to do the same on the second side. Find your way from here into a modified child puppy pushback. Tucking your toes under. You can open up the space between the legs a little bit and then look off the front of the mat so that you're working into the shoulders and the arms. Nice little pushback position on the feet. Then find your way from here into a tall kneel, keeping the toes tucked under as we find an alternating shoulder and bum tap. Opposite hand to shoulder, opposite hand to bum. Waking up the energy in the entire trunk as we tap. You're going to end looking over the right shoulder, hold. Opposite hand to shoulder, opposite hand to hip. Then alternate for 5 rounds before finding the same hold on the left side. Hold. Then bring your trunk back to neutral and tuck both hands behind your head, making a little basket. Fall the weight of your head into your hands and bump your hips forward over your knees, coming into a modified camel. Then on an exhale, contract your belly, thinking of a kneeling cat, and hug your head. Inhale to find your camel. So you can think of this movement pattern as a kneeling cat-cow. And you're going to shoot for roughly 10 repeats. Alternating between hollowing and rounding out the back. Inhaling as you come into the back bend, exhaling as you hug your head and hollow your belly. And in the back bend. Then rotate to the left and see if you can reach for your left heel with one hand and reach the other elbow for the sky. Find your way from here back to the middle. Find your little hug as you hollow out the belly and round out the back. Then into your camel throwback. Begin to rotate and right, looking for your right heel, reaching your right fingertips to heel, and reaching the left elbow for the sky. Find your way back to the middle. Last little round out in your kneeling cat. Then straighten up to place your fingertips on the floor and take a little step out into a deep or a midway squat, making your bum heavy to the floor, and then easing your way into a straddle fold and beginning to play dynamically. One squat, one square up through the feet to fold. Find your rhythm, shooting for at least 10 oscillations between the two frames, opening up beautifully through the pelvis. Let's hold the next fold, preferably hands to floor if you can manage it. Belly button pulled into center. Then into the deep squat. Hands off the floor if you can. Active prayer. From here, we're going to find our way into a tall staff seat at the top end of the mat. Take a seat when you're ready, giving the legs a little shake out as you come into staff pose, Dandasana. Let's play with the feet just inside of hip-width distance apart, and let's bring our hands to Jupiter Mudra, interlacing the fingers, index fingers together, crossing at the thumbs, and arms extended out in front, locked at about shoulder height. Don't collapse into the hips, so keep your trunk nice and tall as you give me one lean forward and one back. Let's shoot for 10 repeats. Let's end in the lean forward, hold it. Then neutralize somewhere between the front and the back position and start to play with the right leg. Single leg lifts, pulling up on the quad and your lower abs. End in the lift, hold it. Now keep this staggered leg position as you start to hollow out your belly, round out your back, coming into a staggered hollow hold. Hold. Now see if you can keep this Jupiter fingertip position, bend at the knees and rock up into a boat line. Maybe this is where you stay with your legs in the tabletop boat, or maybe you can extend the legs and hold. Find your way to a tall seat, hug your shins towards your body and lengthen the line of your back. Find your way back into staff pose, giving the legs a shake out and setting up Jupiter Mudra, starting to play with that seesaw motion, one forward and one backwards, keeping the line of your trunk as tall as you can. We're going to end in the lean forward, hold it. Then sit up nice and tall and start to play with the leg, left leg, single leg lifts. End in the lift, hold it. Keep this staggered leg position as you start to hollow out your belly, rounding out your back, coming into that staggered hollow hold. Abs contracted and working. Then bend the knees and rock up into either a bent boat or an extended leg line boat. Then fall back into a hollow hold, banana-like frame, palms up. We're going to bend the knees, round the feet, and we're going to float our arms overhead. Looking to connect to our belly center, our Manipuraka chakra. You're going to begin in a neutral pelvis and a neutral spine. On an exhale, you're going to imprint your lower and your mid back. You're going to peel up into the chest and the double knee draw. You're going to pause in that contraction, feeling your belly center. And then inhale to float back. Give yourself between 10 to 15 repeats. Hold your next scoop, finding almost a modified deep hollow hold, making more of a U frame between the legs and the body. Then float back down, this time arms relaxed at your side for a working bridge line. When you're ready, you're going to begin articulating up into the bridge, looking for a nice stretch through your belly center and through the tops of your thighs. Then peeling back down and tucking into a tight little ball, hugging your knees in towards your chest, bringing your tailbone and your shoulders off the mat. Then start to oscillate between the two frames for 10. One bridge stretch into the belly and the tops of your thighs. One contraction into the abdomen as you hug nose to knee. Shoot for roughly 10 repeats. End in the bridge, hold it. Looking for that stretch through the line of your trunk and the tops of your thighs, allowing your chin to press right up against your chest. Pausing here to activate into the thyroid. Making sure you fire up your glutes, your quads, and your hamstrings to support your bridge. Then melt back down when you're ready and roll over onto your side. Bending both legs at 90 so the knees are in line with your hips and not in front of your hips. We're going to bend the bottom and extend the top, and we're going to press up top arm to sky, holding your bottom hip off the floor for 10. Then finding your way from here into an elbow plank, looking towards the top end of the mat. Hold, body line nice and parallel to the mat. Then flip over onto your second side, finding that lift of your hip off the floor and raising your top arm towards the sky. From here, you're going to ease your way onto the back, coming back into your hollow hold. We're going to do palms down this time. So think banana frame, abs contracted, shoulders, head, legs, arms off the mat. Hold. Then keep your legs extended as you reconnect to the mat and float your hands overhead. We're going to focus again on our belly center. Take a big breath into breath. On an exhale, you're going to draw your knees to 90. You're going to peel your chest and your arms up off the mat. Pause it. And then inhale to float back down. Shoot for between 10 to 15 repeats. Hold your last scoop. Then find your way from here back into a working bridge line. This time we're going to try to keep our arms overhead. We're going to peel up into our bridge, pressing into the shoulder blades. We're going to peel back down, coming into our little nose to knee tuck. Then opening back up into our bridge line, shooting for roughly 10 repeats. Finding a beautiful innate rhythm of your own. We're going to end in that overhead bridge, holding. Then peeling back down to find your way onto the side of the body, bending the legs at 90, coming down into the elbow of the bottom arm. We're going to lift the hips off the floor and we're going to try to extend the top leg to the sky. Hold. You can keep one hand on your hip or you can float it towards the sky so that you look like a little starfish with one short leg. Find your way back onto the forearms and see if you can lift one leg and hold it off the mat for 10. Then change legs. From here, flip over onto the second side, sitting your frame up. Lifting the top leg up towards the sky. Maybe you can lift the top arm towards the sky as well. Looking for that little starfish-like frame through the body. Bleed your way from here back into your last hollow hold. Palms are looking into center this time. Abs contracted, core center, Manipuraka chakra, working hard. Lead your way from here into a butterfly line. Soles of the feet together, arms overhead. You can do palms up or you can do palms looking in to the center. We're going to take a big breath into breath. On our exhale, we're going to come into a butterfly crunch, lifting the shoulders and the head off the mat and reaching through, pausing, and then floating back down. Repeat 5 times. Trying to pull your belly button down and to the sides as you scoop up into that crunch. Hold the last crunch for 10. Focusing here on the area north of the belly button. Now let's add the area south of the belly button. So as you bleed up into that scoop or that crunch, lift the feet off the mat and reach through. Now lower abs and upper abs engaged. And then float back down. Shoot for 5 repeats. And in that nice deep scoop, hold it. Then maybe start to reach through, holding onto your shins or your ankles and hugging your heels in towards your perineum while keeping that little scoop. So you're thinking hollow hold, lower back imprinted, shoulders, head in a good portion of the upper and mid back off the mat. Bleed your way from here into a supine butterfly. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. Zip lock your fingers and place them over your rib cage. You're going to begin in this zip locked or this closed position. You're going to close your eyes, take your focus inward, and on an inhale, you're going to start to expand your rib cage laterally so that the hands move away from each other. And then on an exhale, you're going to allow your zip-locked fingers to close again. You're going to keep playing with this lateral breath pattern, opening and closing through the rib cage. Inhaling and exhaling exclusively through the nose. Your eyes are closed and your focus is inward facing. Feeling that expansion and that contraction through the ribs. Give me about 2 more cycles through this lateral breath pattern, and then decide on a pose to come into some guided relaxation. Maybe you're staying in your supine butterfly and just opening up your hands to relax them Shavasana style to the floor, palms up. Maybe you'd like to extend your legs, coming into full Shavasana. Or maybe you'd like some more support for the lower back and you prefer to bend the knees and ground the feet, maybe coming into a knock knee position so that you don't have to hold the weight on your knees. Settle into a position that works for you. Keep your eyes closed and your focus inward facing. Keep focusing on that deep breath, a long inhale in and an equally long exhale. Start to visualize the scene that I'm going to set for you. You're out and about, taking a leisurely walk in the countryside. When all of a sudden you get caught in a freak rainstorm. Crazy winds and pouring rain that has you drenched in seconds and running for cover. When the weather finally clears and the sun peeks out again, you notice how clean and fresh everything smells and looks. The earth looks browner, plants look greener, everything just looks more vibrant. Lay down on the damp grass, allowing the warm sun to dry your clothes. Take a deep breath in, taking in those fresh, delicious, clean smells, while you enjoy the beautiful rainbow that has just appeared in the skyline. Breathe. You are alive and all is well. Be grateful. Find something good in each day. You just need to learn how to notice it. And when you do, your life will become a beautiful journey, abundant and full of joy. Allow the truth of those words to sink in, maybe allowing them to color the rest of your day, perhaps even the rest of your week, and the rest of your year. When you're ready, gently flutter open your eyes, maybe drawing your knees into a soft tabletop position and tracing a few big lazy circles with your knees, moving in one direction for roughly 5 traces, and then perhaps 5 lazy big traces in the opposite direction. Find your way from here onto the side of your body, coming into a little fetal pose. Taking a moment to keep your body and your breath soft and relaxed. And then when you're ready, pressing up into a seat of your choice. There's no right, there's no wrong. Press up. Find the seat that resonates for you. Looking for a neutral but tall spine, bringing your hands together in an active but soft prayer, maybe allowing your elbows to just relax towards the floor. Taking a moment to thank yourself for making time to come and play and connect with your body and your breath. Namaste to you. Thank you so much for being grateful with me today. Till next time, keep it light.